Yes, here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Hello everybody, Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode journey. I do have something of an announcement here and now in this video. This will be the last season of career mode that I do, so I will not be returning to my team until F1 25 is out. So with that said, these are going to be the last races of F1 24 career mode. We've got 10 to go, so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have enjoyed this career mode playthrough. But this will be the last season, so let's try and end it on as high a note as possible and maximise every single point that we can moving forward in the championship. So we've arrived at Austria, we've got through Q1 very comfortably, and we've had one or two minor upgrades put on the car here, so we should be quite competitive. At least I'm hoping more so than Canada. And then last time out in Spain, it looked like we were on for a very competitive result. The win, I feel, was possible, but unfortunately our engine let us down, and as a result we were not able to maximise anything from that race. But we've got a sprint weekend now, so a chance to grab some big points, and that is indeed what we're going to try. So, SQ3, here we go. What can we do? Our lap is starting off very positively. Lando Norris sets the bar here, and I feel like I could not have nailed that apex better. We're now heading towards the end of the lap. I'm really giving it everything this car has got, and then some. Out of the final corner we go. Are we going to beat Norris? Yes, we do. It is provisional pole, and in the end that is enough by just 0.06 of a second to beat Lando Norris to sprint race pole.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Sunshine lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Stroll, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Verstappen, Hamilton, Fittipaldi, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Albon, Joe, Théo Pourchaire, Behrman, Tsunoda, Perez, Ocon, and Frederick Vesti. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change.
So we've got damp conditions here in Austria, but everybody is on dry, so that's going to make things quite interesting, isn't it? But we are underway here at the Red Bull Ring, and it's a decent start by us. Everyone else behind just seems to be scrapping amongst themselves. That's allowed us to get a little bit of a gap to Lando Norris. George Russell in third on hard tyres. That's a surprise call. I wonder if he's going to find himself vulnerable to Lance Stroll heading into the right-hander here. At the moment we hold the lead, but there is so little grip available. We really don't have much going out of the corner. Look at Lando Norris using his charge now to try and come at me. He's going around the outside of the hairpin, but there's no way through there. He's now trying to go around the outside of the long left-hander here, and I'm trying to make sure that Lando has space. But he's now going to sweep round the outside. Norris still there. Is he going to make the corner? Yes, he does. Lando Norris taking the lead from us. We are down into P2. And that was a bold and ballsy overtake by the McLaren driver. And George Russell is finding that those hards are offering him little to no issue whatsoever. Norris leads at the end of the first lap, but we should have DRS coming out of turn 1. However, that proves quite ineffective as we got our line wrong. Meanwhile, there's a Sauber going round. I think that's Carlos Sainz having a big moment there, bashing into the wall and damaging his front wing. Meanwhile, we've just sort of been sat just over a second behind Lando Norris, struggling really to make any kind of inroads to him. And in fact, we're now dropping into the clutches of George Russell, who's now got the inside here, side by side. Can we use the outside line to our advantage? No. Russell up into second on the hard tyres, and now here comes Lance Stroll down the inside. Stroll down the inside, side by side in the final couple of corners, but Lance manages to hold it. Now we might be able to attack him back, but he's going to have DRS on this straight, but we're going to have it on the next one. I'm going to try not to attack him here. So we've got the DRS and Stroll's lost it! Round he goes in the Aston Martin, and Lance Stroll, from being in a very strong position, throws it away, and now there's a red flag. So I presume that's purely for Stroll binning it. Now as we go to the restart, conditions have changed and it's dried up, and we are underway, but a driver that's not underway is George Russell. He was very slow away. I don't know if he's out of the race or not with an issue, but Russell just not moving at all, really, was he? And now we head up the hill towards turn number 3, I think that is. And Russell is indeed out of the race. Rotten luck for him, but Lando Norris, I'll tell you what, he's doing everything he needs to get clear of us here. And it's going to be very difficult to put a challenge to the McLaren. At the moment, we might just have to settle for second. We may even have to worry about Charles Leclerc behind us having a look. And in fact, Norris has gone. If anything, we've got bigger problems from Charles Leclerc behind, who is literally having a go around the outside. And he's got through before the corner there. We did move across to defend the inside line, but there was no defending that. Charles Leclerc, P2 in the Ferrari. We take a little bit too much inside curb there. That causes us to nearly spin, but we've held on to the DRS, so we might be able to try and get back after Leclerc here. Leclerc defends. He takes the middle of the circuit. Expertly defended there by Leclerc, but a lap later we're coming straight back at him. He defends the inside. This time I've got it around the outside, going round the corner. We're now side by side on the straight. Is Charles Leclerc going to hold on to P2? Or are we going to take it? I'm trying to force him in a little bit tighter to compromise him in the corner. We're still side by side with Leclerc, but we have to give it up. Charles has the better line, and with it, P2. I broke a bit later there to see if I can attack him. We're going to get one more shot at the Ferrari driver though, and that is going to be into 3 once again. Leclerc defends, but I'm braking all the later, and again round the outside, banging wheels, little bit of contact, trying to get better momentum on the straight, but we just don't have enough battery left. I'm offline. I'm trying to compromise him and force him in too tight. This time it's worked. We've swept round the outside of the Ferrari and move up into P2. Lando Norris though, he's just disappeared down the road, hasn't he? He has been so competitive in his McLaren. As we head round the left-hander one more time, Charles Leclerc is going to get one more go, and he's going to try. Is he going to look down the inside? He's sending it, but he's just not able to make anything of it. Leclerc tried to send, it didn't work. We've gone wide, but it's P1 for Norris, P2 for us. Not a bad sprint race.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but
so our pace was very encouraging, but it wasn't quite there to beat Lando Norris. Norris taking the win and 8 points. We get second. Leclerc and Piastri third and fourth. Verstappen and Gasly 5th and 6th. and the final points of the sprint were scored by Fittipaldi and Zhou. Unfortunately for Lance Stroll, he was in a strong position, but then he threw it all away. Right, it's time to do it all again now, and this is the qualifying session for the feature race of this Austrian Grand Prix. And with the pace we've shown in the sprint, I am confident, but I feel like we just need to find that little bit extra if we're going to have a chance at beating the McLaren, because that looks like a very strong package here. Right, here we go, Q1. And the time to beat is Behrman's. Well, Behrman's already P16, so we're now trying to get ourselves out of Q1. The weather is fine. No sign of the rain we saw earlier in the sprint. And we're now trying to push and get ourselves out of Q1, which should not be too difficult. However, things in F1 can change very fast, and we had to struggle in Canada, I think, to get ourselves into a decent position. No such struggle here though, topping the timesheets in Q1 and doing so by about a tenth to Lando Norris. So we've got the 1 lap pace advantage, it would seem, but when it comes to having the pace over a longevity, that's where this car is seeming to struggle at the moment. But I'm pushing it as hard as I can. Heading into the double right now. What can we do? 1, 2. Oh, that was beautifully taken there. Onto the straight now, and it is P2. We end up P2 just behind Lando Norris. I tell you what, he switched it on this weekend. And Nico Hülkenberg puts it in Q3. So I'm glad to have some help from my teammate, but I could do with perhaps just a little bit more as the sun starts to disappear behind the mountain here in Austria as we get late into this afternoon, and we're definitely going all out here, aren't we? Half a second up on P6, that's good, and we need to keep that sort of pace going as we head into the double right. I'm confident with this lap. I feel like we've definitely earned a top 3 here, but where is it going to be in the top 3? It's provisional pole for now with a 103.3. I thought that'd be enough, but it's beaten by Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. So Verstappen getting himself on the front row, but Lando Norris just simply untouchable in Q3.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sunshine, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Stroll, Fittipaldi, Perez, Hamilton, Zhou, Sainz, Vesti, Ocon, Gasly, Théo Pourchaire, Tsunoda, Behrman, Hülkenberg, Albon, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Let's look at their season. And
on the grid here in Austria, just checking the weather. It is supposed to rain hard towards the end of the race, so I wonder how long can I take these mediums? That was what I was debating in that moment. Can we take them long? It's already overcast as we get ready to take the start of this race. 36 laps ahead of us, and we're underway. Norris is away quite slowly, and we're going to go to the outside, and it's Max Verstappen who takes an early lead here as we go a little bit deep into one. That's allowing Norris to get alongside. Lando trying to get side by side with us, but I use overtake to just edge me ahead just a little bit, and Verstappen leads. We're second, Norris third, Leclerc fourth, and Fittipaldi doing impressively in P5. I tell you what, he's low-key been quite impressive, hasn't he? He's been there or thereabouts, and I think he's done really well considering this is his debut season. But yeah, Fittipaldi currently in P5. We're now attacking Verstappen for P1. He goes to defend the inside. We're going for the outside. I've braked a little late, but Verstappen not away cleanly out of the corner, and that's giving me a run. We're now on the outside of the Red Bull here. Can we make it stick and take the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix? Verstappen forcing the issue there. Still side by side. Still battling the Dutch driver. The Dutch champion. Round the outside he goes. We're on the inside. And we've got a bit further inside and we're trying to keep it on the inside. But Verstappen finding momentum on the outside. And Max holding on to the lead. That was great wheel-to-wheel racing there. But unfortunately, Verstappen just keeping it at this stage as we head on to the third lap, and Hamilton sets the fastest laps that he wants to say in this. Leclerc and Norris are having a battle, but this battle is for me and Max, and I'm getting ready again to have a go. Verstappen goes defensive. We go to the outside. I'm forcing Max in tight. He's compromised, and we've got the position. We take the lead in this Austrian Grand Prix. Verstappen is trying to come back at us. Norris has got past him now. He was having issues with Leclerc. He's no longer having issues with Leclerc. Verstappen is. Max is falling down. And here comes Lando Norris down the inside. And he's ready to complete the move. We're on the outside trying to stretch momentum. But Lando Norris just fully sending that there. And we're now going to try and find room on the inside. Can't do that. Have to go to the outside. Side by side with Lando Norris. Trying to push him in tight. But Norris round the outside. This is where the McLaren has been strong. But it's not that strong here. As we are able to defend and hold on to the lead. I want this win. We should have had this win in Spain. But it got away from us. And Norris is sticking it down the inside. I've had a bad line. And I've lost a bit of time there. And I've gone a bit deep as well for good measure. But we're going to have another go here. Verstappen's having a look up the inside. And is he going to get through? Yes, he does. Verstappen getting through and moving up into P2. Max going for it in this Grand Prix. And we're now looking at how we can take this place back. We've got the objective to overtake him before lap 11. We have done that by going around the outside. Moving into second, Verstappen. He's trying to stick his car for the inside. No way through there. And on lap 7, the battle between Lando Norris and myself looks set to resume. But we've got another engine failure! A second in a row! And I was tempted to send that on him out of salt there. Pure salt. I cannot believe that we are out of another race that looked so promising for us. I can't believe it.
And here he comes. It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure. And no doubt, they'll be celebrating tonight. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
I have nothing to say to that. That was horrendously disappointing. But it's a win for Lando Norris, with Charles Leclerc getting second, Verstappen gets third, Hamilton fourth, Stroll making up for his sprint race blunder in fifth, Piastri in sixth, Russell seventh, Perez and Tsunoda 8th and 9th, and Fittipaldi, he started off strong, but it didn't end strong for him, did it? P10. Oh! Gutted, because that was another chance at a win there, and it just all went up in smoke, quite literally. I can't believe it. Like, we need to start getting more points from these races. We have to start maximising. Look at us now, we're 5th in the championship. We're nearly 50 points off the lead. Granted, the car is only just about there in terms of fighting at the front, but that's a frustrating place to be in. Russell leading Lando Norris by 2 points though. It's so tight at the front. Piastri 3rd, Leclerc moves up to 4th, we're 5th, and Stroll is behind us in 6th in the standings. Then it's Verstappen, Fittipaldi, Hamilton, and surprisingly Gasly having a very disappointing start to the season in the Ferrari. He looked quite strong in the opening couple of races, but just hasn't delivered further since. Well, thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Till the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN. Ta-ta for now, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon.